All right, I'm going to let people know I'm live here. Let's see. We'll go to Discord. Where's Discord? Where's my Discord link? I got too many buttons there. How's everyone doing? Get to the lesson in a second. I'm just waiting for people to show up. So if you're like, why are you just, why am I watching you look around? It's, okay, so announcements, live. Morning, Paul. You're second time in a row you've been first on. Ain't here for a short time and here for a long time. I don't know what that means, Aslan. Hey, Holly. One of the hardest things I've ever had to get, not had to get down, I just wanted to get down. The 5-finger Raschiato. Still not very good at it, but it's one of those things that always fascinated me about flamenco players, how they could do what they do. It's just like watching them, it's almost like it defies logic or physicality, the limitations of. And so this Raschiatos are when they do this is like that kind of thing. There's a million of them, okay? Because you can, any combination of fingers, probably the most common one, and I don't know why I'm giving you a flamenco lesson also, I can't do very well. And Alex immediately got it down and it made me so mad. I'm like, dang it, how could you get this down so fast? It's just something about, there's a hesitation in my hand that when I try this, but you can play like an E chord is a good chord because it's all 6 strings, but thumb, it's a thumb down, thumb up, and then fingers down. No, it's a up. See, that's it. So it's thumb up, fingers down, thumb down. It's a triple. I can't do it. I probably just need to spend a day until I got it, but it's it's called practice, right? It's called wood shedding. And this one's really crazy. It's pinky, pinky, ring, second, index, and then back up with the index. So it's 5 notes per beat. And it should be evenly distributed. So it's not like a 16th note, which would be 4 notes per beat, or a triplet 16th would be 6 notes per beat. It's 5 notes per beat. So you really... It's like that. It's really cool sounding, and I can kind of play it. I'm like 15% there. I can fake at it. I can do 2 times in a row, but flamenco players can just do it perpetually. This is a Ramirez flamenco. The model number is an FL2, I think. And I got this at Guitar Solo in Santa Monica, which is kind of the classical guitar place. I think there's one in San Francisco and one in LA, but people from all over the world will come there because they somehow get their hands on some of the most renowned instruments. There'll be instruments there from deceased famous players that you can go and, well, if you're a well-known player, you can go and play. But I found this. Flamenco guitars are interesting because they're slightly thinner than classical guitars. And then this wood is not, it's not Brazilian rosewood. Like my nylon is Brazilian rosewood. And this one, I forget the wood they use on this. It's an unusual wood, but it's a very, very hard wood. And the idea is that you want projection. So the thinner body makes more immediate projection out the sound hole. And the harder wood makes for a harder and louder projection. Because when flamenco players are playing, they're often competing with singers and people with castanets, right? And dancers with taps on their shoes. So it's very loud. And basically flamenco guitar, it's improvisational and it's also mostly just rhythm. I mean, they may play lines and stuff like that, but they're basically keeping the groove going. So Was I working on? You know, something like this is like a tango, and it's very. This is, believe it or not, very rudimentary. But yeah. And there's something called Coldplay, which is tapping the top. You know, I watch these flamenco players, and it's like literally, I'm not even at 1% of those guys. But for me, it's like if I ever retired, I would probably spend my time. Oh man, allergies are killing me today. I could barely walk to Starbucks. The sun in my eyes, it was making me cry. I think people were ready to pull me over and say, "Are you okay?" Because my eyes were just watery. Sorry, I'm totally ignoring y'all. Because I don't really care. I don't care about y'all. All right, I'm still going to wait for a few more people to show up. And I'm going to wait for a few more people to show up to start giving clues, okay? I mean, you got one clue. Catherine's already setting up time on the big screen. Uh-oh. I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to do it, Kathy. All right, let's see. John, hey, good to see you, man. Steve Settle, good to see you from Scousland. Let's see. Jack Lloyd. Oh, you saw Paco Pena. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, it's amazing what they can generate. And the speed that they play. I'm working on the Picaro, trying to get my Picaro, which is picking with, you know, your fingers faster, because it's just like, I mean, I can do stuff with the pick, you know, well, not this pick. You know, I can play that, but it's like, I can't, it's like, I feel like I got ham hands. And I might be too old to get that down. It might be something that really you have to get when you're a kid, because I've seen 14-year-olds that can play insane. I just saw some 10 and 11-year-old gypsy jazz players that were like, oh, okay. And I filmed my 7 more tips for beginners. I may release it this week. I'm still editing that one. But the video I'm hoping to release this week has to do with today's lesson. And it's not a lesson video. It's a first time I've ever done this video. And I think I told you I was going to do it. Hi, let's see. Hey, Lena, good to see you. Sorry, I just want to say hi, shout out everybody. Also, I apologize. I'm going back. In fact, I've got to check this right now. I'm going back and finding that YouTube is adding 1 million ads to my videos, my live stream videos after the fact. And so I've got to go. I think I got rid of them all. Let me see if last week's if I got to it before they did. And it's literally like every 3 minutes or something like that. It's kind of driving me crazy. Okay, let me see. Manage mid-rolls. I put one in. Okay, there we go. I put one in every half hour. All right. I figure you won't mind giving me a little bit of money every half hour. Usually it's going to be one of those, 5-second skippable ads. Okay. I gotta click away from that. So I'm still just kind of waiting for a quorum. It says we have 25. Oh yeah, flamenco dance. I mean, I just don't know what kind of career that would be. You know what I mean? It's like maybe the best flamenco dancers are paid a lot of money. They're like the best ballet dancers. Get paid a lot of money, I guess. But their careers are short. I would think flamenco dancing would be a lot longer career. I remember it was a restaurant in Pasadena that went to. Oh my gosh, I went there so many times. I think somebody here has been there. It's a pretty famous restaurant. It's gone now, sadly. family-owned restaurant. I think I probably got food poisoning from there about 4 times. Probably is why it's gone. I remember talking to a cop in Pasadena. I said, "Oh, I see it at Burger Continental," and he goes, "Oh, I don't go there anymore." And I said, "Oh, really? Why?" And he goes, "You don't want to know." So I'm like, okay. It was, I mean, it was like, I always felt like I was in Europe when I was in there. It just had that vibe, you know, the tables with the umbrellas and the giant against a giant brick wall, and it was just like festive. And eventually they had music there, which I didn't like. I liked it better when it was quiet, but like every night would be a different type of music, like Dixieland one night, and then they have karaoke another night, and then they have Armenian, Middle Eastern music another night. That was probably the first time I ever saw an oud. Was at Burger Continental. But the first time I ever went there was with a girl and a group of people, but this one girl, she was in ministry. So they just assumed I was in ministry, and they just always gave me a 10% discount. And I'd show up, and I had no money. I mean, you know how it's like, how many musicians eat ramen? You know, it's like, was it 10 cents it used to be 10 cents for a cup of ramen. You could buy 10 for $1. Back in those days, when I was eating 10 cent ramen, ramen sounds good. I might have to do that for lunch. Are they open today? Oh, I think Monday's the day they're closed. Dang it. I would go there, and he would give me a salad plate for salad bar, chips and salsa, unlimited salad, unlimited chips and salsa, unlimited Diet Coke for $1. The owners just liked me for some reason. So I was there like 3 times a week. And then eventually, once I had money, I would start ordering burgers and stuff. And I still was going 3 or 4 times a week. Anytime I had a visitor, I would take them to Burger Continental. But they had belly dancers. And it was one of those things like, do belly dancers ever retire? And they only had them at lunch. And it was funny because I remember a couple times I took pastors there and I totally forgot that they had belly dancers, you know, and they're asking for dollars and stuff, and you're like, put the dollar in, and it's like, ugh, kind of embarrassing. So I don't know. Has anybody been to Burger Continental in Pasadena? It's not there anymore. So Tommy Emmanuel live last week in UK. Oh yeah, it's freaking amazing guitar player. Tommy's super duper nice guy too. Really, really nice guy. Mike, sorry, hey, Pounceford, good to see you. New Year, hey, need a classical guitar. You know, I'll tell you a decent Zach. My main classical guitar is not very expensive. This one was, I got a great deal on this one. I think I paid $2,000 for this, but it's a Ramirez. I think it was list for $4,000 and I got it for $2,000, but it might have been a blemish or something. I don't really care about that. I know you don't. But Asturias is a Spanish builder who made his guitars in Japan. And I paid $500 for mine in the 80s. I bought it used from someone, so I'll type it out. Asturias. Let me see if I can find one on Reverb for you before I get going on this song. Asturias. And I just really like it. Mine's the top is instead of spruce, it's the dark wood, not ebony, cedar. So classical guitars usually they're either orange or they're blonde, and if they're orange, that's cedar. Let me just see if there's any Asturias on Reverb. Or you're probably already looking. So. But Alex got one, and he got it for like $650 on Reverb or something like that. So they're not really well known. Oh, why are you not? Gosh, I hate it when you try to type in the search, and then okay. Now here's a Asturias custom C. What do I have? Yeah, now all of a sudden they look a little bit more expensive. Well, this one says $1,000 price tag, but it's $2,500. Yeah, this one is similar to mine, $1,800. That's still pretty high. And it's tough to buy something online, a classical guitar online. But I would look for stores. You're in Chicago, right? So you can probably have a couple stores that have a decent collection. In fact, there may be a really good classical guitar store in Chicago. So, or you might drive over to, is it the Grand Rapids where Mandolin Brothers? Oh, thank you. Sorry, I'll grab that Discord link. I totally forgot. Thank you, Bruce. Somebody been yelling at me to do that. Copy. Cancel. I got the. So I'm going to start giving clues here for the song. The first clue is that I'm playing a nylon guitar. Okay, that's the first clue. The second clue. Sometimes, Zach or anyone, if you go to Reverb and you find a guitar, you can look through the guitars and if they're all around the same price, if they're all $1,000 or $1,100, look where the stores are. There might be a store that's like, yeah, I'll drive to Madison, Wisconsin for this guitar. If you're in Chicago or whatever, or if in LA, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll drive to San Diego to take a look at this. I'll take Beth with me and we'll get a room and we'll get a room on the beach and make a weekend out of it or make a trip out of it or something like that. Now, guitars may not stay very long. You better get planning on that. They may sell. But some guitars have been sitting there forever. We did Hotel California. And so this song, I'll start giving you clues on it. Thank you, Joseph. Cheers. This song was never hit. Okay, so this song's gonna be pretty obscure. So I don't know. Well, anybody who's a true fan of the band. Oh, there's another clue. It's a band. Will know what this is. And now, if I give this clue, I may have talked about this before. But the reason I'm teaching this is my hope, and I'm done with the video. My hope is that this week my video release is going to be the first interview I've ever done. Okay, and my friend Joe DeBlasi, who I interviewed this week, and we spent. I cut out very little. There was a little bit I had to cut out because should I cut that out? And he goes, yeah, I'll probably cut that out. So, and I haven't sent him the video yet. I'm going to send it to him later today. And he, I want, I think he'll be fine with it. It just made me smile when I was editing it so much, but he's a dear friend. He's played on a million movies and TV shows and records. He's got great stories. His band was produced by Phil Spector, so he had some Phil Spector stories. I've told you stories before, and about some of Joe's stories when I ran out of my own. I said they were his stories. I didn't go, this was my story, and say Joe's story. But Joe's a super sweet guy. I've known him for about 20 years. Huge encourager for me. And he played this song. This is on the record. This is him playing guitar. So last night, it took me a while. I transcribed it. I'll send over the entire transcription for the whole minute and a half of the song. I'll put that in Dropbox later after the lesson because I want to. We're only going to do a certain section of it. Once it kind of gets about the halfway point, I'm not going to teach that today. Okay. Hey, Myrna. I'm going to call you nobody. No, I don't know. Myrna. And he played this song on a Ramirez classical, which he still has, and I played it, and he played it. And so it's pretty cool. Like I said, it wasn't a hit. It wasn't a single. There's not even lyrics on it. And I've talked about this song, I'm sure, in the last, how many years have we been doing COVID? As of yesterday, it's year 3, because March 13th, 2020 is when California got shut down. Like, don't even leave your house kind of shut down. Like, yeah, right, I'm leaving my house. What are you going to do, arrest me? LAPD didn't, they never arrested a single person for not wearing a mask or anything. they did arrest somebody for going surfing. You know, it was like they literally arrested a guy for going surfing. I'm like, they closed all the beaches and he went surfing. It's like, I'm sorry, that was just pretty lame. He's like, we're supposed to try to be healthy, right? We got to fight this off. We talked about all this. A Cordoba, it's okay. Yeah, we're talking studio quality instruments, Sam. Probably, you know, for recording. Zach is a pro, so he's probably going to want something. The Cordobas are fine, I think, for an amateur guitarist, or even, you know, a pro if it's just an extra instrument to have. I wouldn't mind having another classical that I could that had a plug-in, because that one I think is plug-inable. But I say no to weddings now, so I'm not gonna tempt fate by getting a plug-in classical, because then I know, oh, but you play my wedding. I'm like, oh. So, yeah, the Picaro thing is just Picaro is just, it's just like you know, I want to get that fast, and there are millions of players that can do Picaro that fast, and it's all about minimum movement. One trick about getting your right hand faster, I learned, is to play staccato, which means as soon as you pluck your first finger, rest your second finger on that string. All right? See that? So I pluck first and rested my second. Now that's ridiculous staccato. But what that does is it's kind of like Boy Scouts thing, right? Be prepared. It's preparation. Oh, was it? Oh, you're right. Maybe it was March 15th. So tomorrow is 2 weeks to stop the spread. Tomorrow, although nobody's in LA, you know, all the mask mandate, which is the most strictest city, I think, in the U.S. They got rid of all the mask and vaccine mandates, and went to a club the other day, and they never asked for, you know, the vaccine card before they got rid of it. I went to restaurants and they never asked. One restaurant asked, but that was it. But oh, I know, AI, yeah. All right, Little Guitars Van Halen. No, because Eddie would have played that, and Eddie's not my friend. I would have loved to have been Eddie's friend. That would have been cool, Alan. Okay, so I'll start talking. In fact, I just played it accidentally without even noticing it. Did anybody pick that up? Everybody's rewinding the video now. I played it fast. It's not that fast, so don't worry about it. I'm just kind of trying to get my fingers warmed up. All right. So I could put this song up there. I could put the first phrase up here, and then you could try to decipher. I don't know that you'll know this song. So this is the first of the songs we've done that you might not know. I'm pretty sure everybody knew. You know, there's some obscure. What was this one? Oh, Free Falling. Everybody knew that one. Dazed and Confused. Everybody probably knew that one, but that's a pretty obscure song too if you're younger. You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. Anybody my age would know it, but younger people might not know it. Roxanne, everybody knows Roxanne. Hotel California, everybody knows that. Rebel's another one that's kind of rare. So I'm not necessarily picking songs that are huge hits, but oh yeah, they just looked at, yeah, well, companies are different. Like I go to Starbucks, the employees are still wearing the masks, but Target got rid of the mask mandate for Target stores like 3 or 4 weeks ago. We were at Target yesterday, and still, I would say 80% of the people in California are wearing masks in stores. It's fine. They can do it. I don't care. Billy Idol. Did Billy Idol have a nylon song? Hey, Daryl. Billy Idol. There's some fun Billy Idol tunes. You know who else has a really good guitar tone was Billy Squier. Just a really good guitar tone. Great guitar ideas. Really good guitar player. Okay, Milos Asturias. Okay, so no, it's not a classical piece. Okay, now, so this is an honor. This song is in an honor of me interviewing a friend of mine who'd actually played this. All right. The I don't want to reveal. Well, I mean, it's fine. It's just I want you to watch the interview because it's an hour long. Oh, John, thank you so much. Let me grab. So I had to. It's a little bit long. Not long. It's about a minute and a half. We're not going to learn all minute and a half. I want you to get the first part down, and then I'll post the entirety of it. I did a chart for the whole thing. Right here, I think is the first. Yep. Okay, so this is the first passage. This is the first. Come on, there we go. First 4 bars. So I include a tab because I know you all can't read music. And so if anyone can start to finger that, they might know it. It's not a deep dive. It's on a huge selling record. This album was a double album. Classical Gas. I wish I could teach that. That one's actually hard. I mean, that one would be a tough one. Can you robot? Can you a robot? Oh yeah, am I a robot? I hate the robot voices on the YouTube videos. I immediately get rid of them. You know, when they use some auto reader, it's kind of like a TikTok thing. Which on TikTok you expect it, but on YouTube I don't like it. On TikTok I don't care if a robot's reading the text or whatever, but on that. So okay, so now this band was huge. Not technically together, but the two main leaders of the later leaders of the band. I need to keep this kind of big, don't I? It's gonna cover up my face here. Can you see that? I know Catherine can. Right, Catherine, you can see that, right? She's got me on the big screen. How many inches is that big screen, Catherine? You can't see, it's not big enough. It's not a single artist, it's a band. Yes, Bob Schumann got it. Okay, so Bob, that's my friend Joe DeBlasi. All right, I'm going to play this. It's going to sound like James Bond. That's the first 4 bars. It's really pretty, right? And it's not that difficult. But David Gilmour, and this is part of Joe's story, David Gilmour, he can't finger pick at all. So he was trying to play something with, he was trying to get that finger pick sound on a nylon with a felt pick. Like guitar pick sounded too bright to him. So he wanted to get, I'm sure he was trying with a guitar pick, and he tried with his a felt pick, like a ukulele pick, and he just couldn't get it down. So the producer, had a contract. Contractors in LA, they know what you can do, and Joe's a really good nylon player, particularly classical stuff like that. I'm amazed at how many guys, like so many of the Spanish stuff you hear on TV and film is being played by a pick, a guitar player with a pick instead of legit. I'm sure it bothers a lot of legit players, but it's just out of necessity. Because like I said, I can't get that piccato. And Joe and I were talking about that. And he didn't have a fingernail on his first finger, so it was difficult for him. All right, so, oh, good, Kathy, you know this song. All right, so I wrote out the whole thing, but we're just going to learn a little bit of it. Well, we're going to learn about half of it. And I think I got it right. It's funny because he played it for me. And he says, most people get this wrong. And I'm like, oh, shoot. Okay, I'm wondering, did I get it wrong or whatever? I should send him my tab that I did, the complete tab. So Yeah, yeah, it's all right. Did you have your guitar in your hand? I think, Jake, I think, is that the next song? Is that what it goes to? So basically, on Pink Floyd, on the wall. So this is on the wall, and my my friend Joe. What am I trying to do? Oh, here. Okay. My friend Joe actually got his name is miscredited on it. They called him Ron de Blasi. So, Pink Floyd, The Wall. I mean, this record sold millions. Huge record. So I'm just pulling up the. But that guitar part, aside from sounding very James Bondy, and like I said, I interviewed the guitar player this week that played it. No, it goes. Oh, it comes from Hey You. So Hey You, and then it goes to that. And is there anybody? So if you pull up, is there anybody out there on YouTube? It's about halfway in. It's like a bunch of talking noise and stuff like that. You know how the wall is. It's kind of got a lot of like sound samples of shouting and yelling and school teachers. Oh, thank you. Where was he? All right. Okay, I'm gonna make this a little smaller. Not that small. All right, that's good enough. Nobody Home Falls. Yeah, Hey You is before it. Yeah, and they recorded this in. They recorded a lot of this in L.A. at Sunset Sound in Hollywood, which so many great records. Van Halen did a lot of a lot of their early records there. Let's see. So interesting. Here's some of the people that played on this record. Okay, Jeff Picaro, the drummer from Toto, one of the best drummers ever. Got great stories about Jeff. Unfortunately, he died young. Kind of had a heart attack. It was a reaction to he was spraying pesticides in his backyard and he inhaled it. But had done a lot of coke. He'd quit, but he'd done a lot of coke, and they think that affected his heart. His dad, Joe Picaro, who's the father of Mike Picaro, the bass player who passed away. Is it Steve Picaro, the keyboard player for Toto, and Jeff Picaro. Lee Ritenour, one of my favorite guitar players growing up as a kid, session guitar players, LA session guy, played on a billion things. I'd love to interview Lee. That would be fun. Tony Tennille from Captain and Tennille. She sang background vocals on In the Flesh, The Show Must Go On, and I guess there's two In the Fleshes, one with a question mark, and Waiting for the Worms. Bruce Johnston, backing vocals. Now, is that the drummer for, that must be the drummer for, Bruce Johnston was the drummer for the Doobie Brothers. Oh, yeah, and Goodbye Blue Skies, I wonder, Joe didn't tell me about that. I think we just talked about this song. I'll have to ask him if that's him too. Larry Williams, who's a big session guy. Trevor, I know this name Trevor Veach from somewhere. Where do I know Trevor from? Musician, Vancouver, Canadian, Theresa Crowd. Boy, that name just looks familiar. Growing up once I started playing guitar, I was a liner notes reader. Like I worked at a record store like for an hour or two every night after my job, after teaching guitar lessons. I would go to this store because the owner would pay me an album an hour to hang out from 8 to 10 at the store because he was worried about the girl that was working there. So I figured if there was a guy in the store, it wouldn't be. And she was cute, so it wasn't really hard for me to do. So, but anyway, so I would go through the store looking at liner notes, and if I saw Lee Ritenour was one of them, this was, Joe DeBlasi would have been around. He wasn't on a lot of the albums that I would have picked up, but Ritenour was on a bunch of them. So if I saw Ritenour on the album, I would buy it. I would make that one of my free albums, and it could be some of the worst albums. I have some of the worst albums ever made, because I would shop I would do the cutout, the 99-cent records, which I'm sure the owner loved because I was like, he was paying me 99 cents an hour essentially, and that wasn't even his cost. So, yeah. So we're gonna do the picking pattern. Okay. So you're gonna want to make an A minor chord. All right, and we're gonna assign with this first section. Okay, this first 4 bars, the thumb is gonna play the 4th string. So we're playing an A minor chord, but we're not playing the A string. Right. So we're gonna start on the 4th string with our thumb. And then our first finger is going to be assigned the 3rd string. Our second finger is going to be assigned the 2nd string. And our 3rd finger is going to be assigned the 3rd string. I'm trying to there you go. See that? And 2nd and 1st is going to be here. So you can, if you want, you can just, without any chord on, you can just go thumb, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. And a lot of times I'll break the part up into 2 sections. The right hand and the left hand. Okay? So the right hand is just, and then back down, and then thumb first. We need to have 8 notes, right? Because we want 8 eighth notes in a bar. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? So again, let's see, there we go. Again. Oh, you're right. Bruce Johnston was guitar, wasn't he? What am I thinking of that drummer? I was thinking the black drummer. Butch. Oh, that was Butch something. Was it Butch Johnston or Johnson? Another friend of mine played with Doobie Brothers, played drums for Doobie Brothers for like 9 years. Tony Pia. Super nice guy. All right, again. I'm not going to get the names that Rick Beato gets. not to disparage Joe DeBlasi, but I'm not going to get Sting at the interview. And sadly, I'm a huge fan. Pat Metheny too. I love Rick Beato's interviews though, because they're informed. Oftentimes when a jazz journalist is interviewing Pat Metheny, they don't really talk about guitar so much, and licks and riffs and harmonic and concepts and scales, and this is not something a jazz journalist is going to talk about, which is sad because it's always what I was interested in. I would read Downbeat magazine, but it usually wouldn't be interesting. Okay, so if that's how are you supposed to let Timothy? Timothy's like, this is just great. How am I supposed to let my wife know I need a classical guitar? Joseph, I don't know what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but it's eighth note. So it's an 8-note pattern. And then loop it. You're gonna have to loop it. So you get this right hand down. Now we can work on the left hand. Okay, so the first chord is A minor. Top 4 strings are A minor. Okay, and then if you want, you can put your pinky here, and I think that's what Joe's doing. He played it for me. I should have watched it, but I'll tell you why I think he did it. The next chord is you put your pinky here on the 4th string on the 3rd fret, and this is where we get that James Bond sound. Okay, when you have a minor chord, the fifth going up a half step and then up another half step. So it's going. You can think of it several ways, but it's going basically you're going A minor. But the thing about this is it's not quite, you know, because I'm playing an F, so I can't call this like an A minor with a sharp 5 because I'm not sharping this 5. That E isn't going. If I went like this, then I'd be playing an F chord. So we're really playing what's called an F major 7 chord. But I didn't write the names of the harmonies out. It's not that critical. But this would be an A minor over E. This would be F major 7, and then this could be like, you could think of this as a D9 over F sharp. Great chord. Okay, so check this out. If I go like this, oh, sorry, we're not playing the pattern, just the chords. And then I put my pinky on the, see that? Fourth string. Might be a little tough. If you need to, you can do this. You can do that shift. I don't know that he did that. I'll tell you why, but it doesn't matter. Either's fine. What I hear is when he goes to this, I hear a squeak. And these strings don't squeak because they're not wound. They're just nylon, okay? It's funny because a little clue like that can really help you understand how he fingered it. Now, coming back down, he fingered it this way, all right? Because remember, this only thing that's changing on that A minor chord, these 3 notes stay the same. It's just the bottom note, okay? The 4th string note. Well, Timothy, maybe I'll teach you how to play Romance for Guitar, and then you can maybe like woo her into it, right? Romance for Guitar is the let's see, what is it? Now watch that trigger a copyright infringement. It's actually the authorship is anonymous. So somebody has put it up on YouTube and claimed it as theirs. I guarantee you. Okay. Oh yeah, get ready for pinkies. Oh, Holly, yeah. Bob is warning Holly. Okay, so so if we do that, then I hear the squeak, which tells me that he's sliding the pinky up to the 4th fret, and then he's reaching down like that. Yeah, Holly, you're gonna have to probably get that pinky out. Oh, I forgot about your hand hurt. You'll work on this later. And then coming back down, we're gonna just do that one. But you could do it this way. Doesn't matter at all. Really doesn't. It's just that squeak betrays. Because when you go from here to here, there's no squeak. There might actually be a little squeak going from this chord to this chord, but probably not. Okay, so when you combine those elements, and you'll have the tab, so you'll be able to play the whole, you know, have the whole song in front of you. I should probably print it up. I don't know. Okay, and then it's going to just. That's kind of the next section, which is not. It's also not particularly difficult. I'm still amazed though when we did. You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. That I saw. It's like that's actually playing. You know, that's got to be something that John picked up from folk singers. That's just such a folk singer type thing to do, to play D over C like that with the pinky. Because, you know, I would probably do something like this, but then technically, I got that open G string. It's no longer a D chord. It's like a C with a sharp 11, C2 with a sharp 11. So it totally sounds different than that. So I never noticed that before. But when I watched the video from the movie of them playing it, John, you know, is pretending to play it, obviously. He does that exact thing. So, no, I am not. I'm not placing the 3rd finger down. It's off the fretboard. Yeah, I don't know that it would really help me at all to have it there. You could do it. If you went like this, you could do that. It doesn't really particularly help my pinky. But if, you know, you could go ahead and make F major 7 chord this way, and then go to the F sharp there with that finger, leaving this finger here because you're going to come right back to it. So it makes some sense to do it that way. But I don't normally do that. You might, if your hands are on the slowish side, that might be a way to go. You don't have to worry about making a chord twice. But my hands don't seem to have a problem doing that. And you can also practice that. Not a bad little exercise. I've always talked about doing a series of videos. I could do these little 1-minute videos, maybe more for a TikTok kind of thing, but where I do, you know, like little jazz harmony things that are just good finger exercise. Or I really like this one. It sounds very bossa nova-ish to me. Okay, so one more time. All right. Dire Straits, Sultans of Swing would be a fun one to learn. I've taught that one a million times, the solo to that. And, you know, I'm not planning on teaching this whole song, okay? Because I could spend 8 hours doing that. But I'm gonna pull up the next bars, okay? You know, I could make this really small and just put it up here. So don't freak out that you can't read that. The point is, I want to have it maybe to reference, because here's the next section. Oh, look, I did a screenshot of my pointer. Did I do that on every one of these? Gosh. See, I don't know why screenshots capturing the cursor now. That just drives me crazy. It's like, didn't used to do that. All right, so now what we have here, start with the A minor. This is like the first 2 beats of the beginning of the song, right? You're just gonna do that. So it's thumb, first, second, third. And you could do this with a pick, I suppose. If you really have no chops on your right hand finger picking. But at the same time, it's not a particularly hard pattern, so it might be a good introduction to finger picking if you've been wanting to learn it, but never chosen to. Yeah, Allman Brothers is great too. Some great stuff out there. Okay, and then, so we're gonna do that. And then take off the second finger. Okay. And you could do this. Kind of a nice little exercise right there. But basically, I'm just play this note with me. The E on the D string, then open, and then the C on the the A string, right there, 3rd fret, and then the B. And it's going to ultimately going to go to the A string. So finally we get to the A string. We've been playing in kind of an A minor vibey thing here. When we get to this thing, it's kind of a Dorian thing, but it's very short-lived because we're right back to the A minor here. So what is happening there? So I play this. Actually, let's play the right hand first. So thumb on the 4th string, thumb, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. This is something, if we ever learn Dust in the Wind, we're going to have to learn how to do the same pattern on different string groupings, okay? Because sadly, Dust in the Wind isn't on the middle 4 strings at all times. There are times where you've got to, you got to play the 5th, 6th string instead of the 5th string. Sometimes you got to play the top 3 strings instead of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string. So it's very, it's one thing to learn a pattern, but it's also, you need to be able to play that pattern on multiple different string sets. So what we're doing is we're going to do this twice the 4th string in the bass, and then we're going to go to the 5th string twice. So do the pattern. Let's see, here we go. You can use all open strings. Again, a really good way to get a song down is to break it into those 2 sections, the right hand and the left hand. You're still going to have to coordinate them at some point. Just because you have the left hand down and the right hand down doesn't mean you're going to get them together. It doesn't work that way. But it certainly helps. Same thing with learning to sing and play at the same time. If you can play the song and you can sing the song, doesn't necessarily mean you can play and sing the song, right? That's a 3rd skill set. Playing the song is 1 skill. Singing the song is another skill. Playing and singing the song together is a 3rd skill. A lot of people can do the first 2 things and not the 3rd thing. But it's a different skill. You have to learn it. Okay, so we got this, and then jump down to the 5th string. But your fingers don't follow. So your fingers stay on the top 3 strings on this, all right? And they're not always going to stay on the top 3 strings. In fact, the last bar of this phrase is going to be in the middle 4 strings. Okay? It's going to be the same pattern that we did here. Okay? So we're going to do it in the middle. But we'll get to that in a second. So right now I'm talking about the first 2 bars here. Bar 1, actually, which is bar 5, and bar 6. It's like, I feel very dyslexic when I do this. Okay. All right. So we're going to play the A minor shape, and we're playing the 5th string, or 4th string, sorry, my bad. Then take off this finger, and if you can, get your pinky up there and play that C. Okay, practice that. Well, now let's practice the chords. So we got this chord, this chord, this chord, and this chord. All right, and what we're doing is we're just using the pattern to kind of elongate those. Right? Yeah, Sam, that's somewhat true. The top 3 strings are the 3 fingers, and the thumb is assigned the bottom 4 strings. That's somewhat true, but the very last bar of this is going to prove that to be false, because we're not gonna. I mean, you could do it that way, but that means that your thumb is going to be pretty busy. Which now on the 2nd bar or 3rd bar, we are going to have to play 2 strings. You could do it that way. Either way is fine. But you might have to get used to doing that with your thumb. So you can even practice that right now if you want to go 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4 with the thumb. See, I'm just bouncing back between 2 strings. Yeah, it's a walk down, exactly. We're going down and going C, or sorry, excuse me, allergies. E, D, C, B, A. Literally walking down the scale, okay? So as far as how you play the 4th bar, I'll leave that up to you. Sam might want to just keep the top 3 fingers assigned to the respective strings. I'm trying to think of the rest of the tune, how the rest of it goes. Yeah, that's home position, right? Exactly. Spider's walking down his web. Especially for a major, it would be this. It doesn't sound very good. That sounds great. So, speaking of spider, my hand kind of looks like a spider. Okay, so I'm playing an A minor, got my pinky ready. See that? My pinky's not tucked away here. It's ready to go. Take that off. Then get that C with the pinky and then play the top 3 strings. And then get the B with this. Now, if you want, you could reposition these fingers so you're playing 3rd finger on the C note and then put your 2nd finger on where your 3rd finger was, on the A string, A note on the G string, and then 1st fret of the 2nd string with your 1st finger. 1st finger's not changing in this. If you want to do that, you can do that. You could even go, if you wanted to make that shift to here right away. See that? But then you're going to have to do another shift to get that. This way, this is kind of the John Lennon way of doing it, right? I'm just going to get my pinky up here, get that, and then my second finger is already ready to go on that B note. And just make it an exercise. You could go up and down. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my hands. The trick is not lifting your first and third finger off. While, you know, your first and third finger just stay planted. And when you lift off your second finger to get to that A string, or when you lift off your pinky to get to the second finger, to not lift these other fingers, right? That's a finger independence thing. I did that finger independence exercise. I do this, you know, all the time to warm up, and it's no fun, right? But it's one of those things that will help you get to that point where you can do it. Holly says, thanks for joining us, everyone. Please support Tom's channel by hitting the like button. Yeah, smash that like button. Subscribe and share. Sharing's really important. I can't help but think the reason, and I have yet to find where it is, where somebody shared it, but I can't help but think the reason that my 7 Tips for Older Beginners got its initial, and how you even know who I am, and how you even came to be here on Monday mornings, or my Monday morning, whatever time it is where you are. Holly and I's Monday morning, and Kathy too, I think. And Lena's Monday. Yes, it's Monday morning for all of us. Yeah, the pinky is tough. So you just turn little things into little exercises. You can just do this while you watch TV if you want. Try to get that. Like, you know, I'm still trying to get the Picaro thing. You know, I want to get that fast. I'm working on that right now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it. I don't know if my, you know, we'll see. Physiologically, if I'll be able to get it, or psychologically. It's probably more likely I won't be able to get it psychologically. I have so many doubts. I'm so riddled with self-doubt. Yeah, that's like the least true thing, right? Oh, my goodness. So I'm just here to entertain you. If I'm laughing, I'm hoping you are too. Laugh with me. Laugh at me with me. We're not laughing at you, Tom. We're laughing near you. But yeah, oh, I forgot what I was talking about. What was I talking about? Okay. Oh, Sharon, thank you. Yeah, I think that's how that somebody somewhere on some forum somewhere shared that video, and it just started going huge. I don't know that anyone's. There was somebody that said, "Oh, I discovered you through Justin Guitar," but that doesn't mean, because then I was like, oh, did Justin Guitar mention me? And I didn't even know who Justin Guitar was at the time. And then I looked up and went, wow, he's got a lot of subscribers. And it wasn't that. It was, I think what happened was they were watching a Justin Guitar video, and my video showed up in their feed because they'd been watching Justin Guitar. And my themes, especially in the last 4 years, I've simplified my themes and my lessons. What's in that latte? It's just a coffee with heroin. No, not heroin. That would not have this effect. So, but yeah, I mean, sharing any of my videos. I mean, if you're on forums, things like that. In fact, if you're on that Pink Floyd forum, you might. If you're on a Pink Floyd, someone said they were on a Pink Floyd forum. Once I post a Joe DeBlasi video, I'm going to timestamp it so that you'll be able to, because the Pink Floyd thing's about 2/3 in. We talk about a lot of stuff, and how he got started, and how Tommy Tedesco gave him his career. We got some Tommy Tedesco stories in there. That just always makes me happy. Remember the Bette Midler story? I have him tell that. So I'm not going to tell it. Don't ask me to tell it now because because I want you to watch the video to see it. So it's a sweet video. I mean, I just, when I was editing, I was smiling the whole time. So yeah, it was a YouTube algorithm thing. Exactly. That's probably what happened. But it certainly doesn't hurt to have beef in a forum, you know, especially if the video is on point. It's hard for me to do, or even Reddit. I went from 800 to 1,200 in one day because of Reddit. To 800 subscribers to 1,200 subscribers in one day. It kind of freaked me out. I'm like, where am I getting all these new subscribers? And it was because someone was on Reddit, and I mentioned him in my 100,000 video. Someone got on Reddit and said, why doesn't Tom have more subscribers? He's a really good teacher. So I wasn't saying it. I am, you know. Okay. All right. So here's a little bit of a dilemma here. This is up to you. I'm gonna make it dealer's choice here. But on this one, the bar 3. So we have all the elements. You know, it's, here we go. Then we get to this. And it's going to go back to that. Well, actually, the 2 bars you see there at the end, the first 2 bars, and then there's the next 2 bars, this part, it's going to do that twice, as is, totally. But it's in there, so your thumb's going to be really busy if you do it that way. Other way you could do this. So what I did was I did the home position that Sam said. I haven't used that term in forever, but Sam, that's exactly what it's called. The home position for your fingers is here. You have 3 fingers on the top 3 strings, okay, like that. And the thumbs kind of is in charge of all the other strings. And the reason that works is because like you play a G chord. See, I'm moving my thumb around to get the different bass notes, but my 3 fingers don't change. And that's why that kind of works. So if you're kind of wanting to integrate finger picking patterns into your guitar playing, then you can kind of create a home position thing where your 3 fingers are always here and your thumb moves around to get whatever bass note you need. But sometimes you don't want that E string. Sometimes you want the middle 4 strings like on Dust in the Wind. Okay? And that's the same thing with this song. You could go, it might be more complex than bouncing your thumb around to change where your fingers are, okay? So I could play 2 different ways to play those last 2 bars is to just keep my 3 fingers on top. And that's 8 notes right there, 8 notes right there. So I'm going up 5 strings and back down. And that ends up being 8, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then he does. This is a classic. This is exactly what I just said. Joe doesn't want that E note on top. He wants to hear the C note on top. And I think the reason was because they wanted 4 bars there. And if he did the same pattern over, it's boring. So, you know, Joe's a studied classical guitarist, and he goes, you know, you would never do that in a classical piece. You might do the same pattern over and over again, like the Villalobos piece, the 18 number 1, is it? You know, I love that piece, but yeah, it's the same right hand pattern over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah, and it takes forever to get that stupid pattern down because it's so complex. But the chords are changing enough so that it keeps it from being boring. It's beautiful finger style wise, and it's beautiful harmony. And so Joe's probably going, yeah, this. So you can play it. Like I said, there's 2 ways to play this. You can just keep your fingers up there. Oops, sorry. What did I do? Oh. See how much work my thumb is doing though? If I want, I could move my fingers in, so I'm playing the middle 4 strings for that 4th bar of this phrase, okay? So we got, how's it going, Quail? Then sorry, I'm reading the comments. back to the top 3 strings, and then back to the middle. Okay, so and then here's what's interesting. After we do that, okay, after we do that twice, it bums me out that stupid cursor's there. It's like, why is suddenly screen grabbing the cursor? I don't want the cursor in there, but it's here too. It's like, it's in every freaking one of these, right? Except that first one. Well, it's not in that one. It's in that one. Yeah, so ignore the cursor. Ignore the man behind the curtain and ignore the cursor. Okay, so here's the next phrase. And all of this, at this point, is stuff we've done before, all right? Which is nice. Okay, this is good. If you have the first 8 bars down, you have this, no problem. And I got the cursor right on my screen, right on my face here. Okay, so it's more of this, that again. And now here's what's interesting. Notice the last note of bar 2 and the first note of bar 3 are the same note. Okay, it's that E note twice. So you might, if you're playing on the middle 4 strings like this, if you're fingering this second bar like this, you might find yourself plucking that E note, that 4th string with your first finger, and then coming right back down with your thumb. Okay? And you might want to practice that. In fact, you can even just practice hitting that 4th string with your finger and then the thumb. Almost like you're doing that kind of thing. And that moment right there is, I always talk about this, it's the transition moments. Like with bands, when you're playing a song and you go from the chorus back to the verse, that's oftentimes where crashes happen, right? Sometimes you have to practice transitions or between songs. A lot of times at church, we'll do like the last 4 bars of a song and the first 4 bars of the next song, because we've got clicks and count-offs and things like that happening, and we want transitions. And so that's oftentimes you'll have to work on those moments in between when things change. So, but if you're playing it with like this, playing with the finger in the middle 4 strings, you just back to that thing we've done. And that much, so this is similar, okay? All right. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do right now, okay? If you're not a member of the Discord, join right now. There's the link is right up there. I'm going to drag the PDF for the whole song into Discord right now. So you guys, it's 3 pages, actually, sorry. It's 2 pages with 2 bars on the last page, but yep. Yeah, it was tough getting up early yesterday for church, but not that bad. I was fine. It wasn't that hard. But it always happens, I'm just glad it does. Like, it's happened on Easter before, which Easter is oftentimes an early morning. And then to lose an hour the night before, oh my gosh. Okay, so here's the whole song. Uh-oh. I got a warning here. The stream's current bitrate is lower than recommended. Oh. Okay. Oh, did somebody say buffering? I don't see buffering anywhere here. I haven't seen anything but green, but it may have just escaped mine. Okay, so the next phrase. Wait, what am I looking for? Okay, so we've got 3 up there so far. This next phrase, this descending, leads us in to that A minor chord again, the 5 string A minor chord. Okay, that stupid curse is ticking me off. I am buffering a bit. Okay, sorry about that. Am I not? I'm sure there's someone out there, like on TikTok, that can dance a buffer dance. I'm sure somebody does that. Yeah, I don't know. I had a warning on, and actually that's not that low. Normally I'm running right now at 29, 23 kilobytes per second, 2400 kilobytes per second, 2600. It updates every second. It said, and now the warning went away, but it said I got down to 900 kilobytes per second, which is less than half of normal. So I can see where the warning would happen. But I've seen it get down to 2 kilobytes per second or something. 0. Do a praise song? Don't deny in front of a man. Oh, no, I'm not denying. I just don't know how many praise songs people would know. But I don't deny anything. So, all right. So this section, so keep in mind, we've already done for a second time, and we're here. There's the F sharp. See that 4, that pinky out there that Holly can't reach? Okay. And, that is a good exercise right there, Holly, if you want to work on that. But notice my pinky's not tucking away. Mainly because I know I'm going to need it. There are times I'll admit my pinky tucks away, but if my hand knows I'm going to need it, it tends to stay available. And I kind of trained it to stay available. Remember this exercise? Holly, if you're having troubles with your pinky, and Kathy, I don't remember if you were there when we did this, but check out my 2 exercises for guitar. I also have a play along with, if you look at my exercises, I can find it for you. My exercises playlist on my YouTube channel. So what I want with that. Content. Exercise. I mean, both of these are great for keeping the pinky available out there. 2 left-hand exercises. Okay, here it is. It's got 23,000 views. So there's that one. Yeah, PDF is in Discord for the whole song. So now you can print it up and have it in front of you, so you don't need to have this. I should have done that sooner. Sorry, as soon as the song was revealed, I should have done that, and I apologize. Oh, Bruce just texted me. Let me look into that, okay? I think, yeah. So Bruce is saying, do we do a live stream celebration? Friday is the 2-year anniversary of the COVID live streams, and so maybe on Friday, maybe at 9 o'clock, same normal time, I'll log on and we can do a little bit of celebrating, okay? For a little bit, and I can do questions too. It won't be a song lesson. I don't want to have to prepare something for that, but just something I don't have to prepare for. Although I've already have an idea of something I want to do for it. Since in the 1 minute that Bruce has texted me, I have an idea for it. We'll see if I can. Shouldn't be too hard to pull off. Yeah, the Dove sounds great, doesn't it? I got really lucky on that because I'd never owned a steel string when I bought that. I really had no idea. They were cowboy guitars for me. I just needed a loud guitar because I was leading worship for our Sunday school class, which didn't have mics or anything. And it was 100 people. It was 50 couples. It was a couples class. And so I'm like, yeah, there's no way like a small guitar or something is going to be able to, my nylon wasn't going to be able to cut it. So I said, I got to get a steel string. And I just played 100 guitars. And I said, what's the loudest guitar I can find? And that was it. Okay. So this is probably going to be one of the hardest, this is probably the hardest moment of the song. Okay. And so this is going to require some time. This is a descending thing, but it's different than, well, there's another couple moments in the song. If you go to the second half of the tune, which I'm not really going to touch on today, but if you go there, that will, and I'll play the whole song. I need to print it up. Here, let me, I haven't printed it up myself, so let me print it up. Probably out of paper. Trying to work on my taxes. Oh, what a pain. All right. I gotta get all my it's getting close. I gotta get all my materials to my accountant. So maybe that's what I'm gonna do the rest of today, even though I'd rather do 500 other things, including have my teeth pulled. So what's happening here? So we're coming out of this, you know. So this is the 2 bars before this. Then here's the top, this bar right here. I guess that says bar 13. And the same thing. So everything is simpatico. Everything's normal at this point. But then it does this. See? Okay? So this is... Okay, and then we're going to go back to that. So let's look at that. Okay, so what we're doing, we're coming off that F major 7 chord. Okay, that's the second bar you see right there. Corporate taxes due tomorrow. Oh, gee, I really have to go earlier. I'm glad I'm not a corporation. I'm not quite there yet. Every year I ask my accountant if I should become a corporate, an S corp or whatever it is. I forget which one, not LLC, but I think it's an S corp. And he's like, it's not really worth it. The fees and everything, the regulations and everything make it a little. But then you pay yourself $1, so your income tax is 0. But just pay everything out of the business. I mean, so okay. So we come out of this, okay, and we're going to start out doing that. Kind of like we're getting ready to do it again, but we're only going to do the first 3 notes, okay? And then you're going to get that down. And as soon as you hit that open D string, go ahead and put your first finger or second finger back on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, okay? So we're going to go. Okay, so the bass, the thumb is playing 2 notes in a row there. Thumb, 1st, 2nd, thumb, thumb, and then we're going to go all the way to the top. Okay? Again, you want to practice that, maybe that 1 bar. You don't need to loop it because you're not going to go back to that. Just get that bar down. I think we're a measure 15. If that's a 13 at the beginning of this, right? A little tiny to see, but Sam's already printed up his copy. Yeah, so I printed mine up. So we're on the bottom of the first page. And I think I got it right. This may be the part that Joe said everybody gets it wrong, but also you could do that. See what I did with my third? Watch my 3rd finger on this hand over here. Kathy, this hand. That would be a shorthand, so to speak, a shortcut. If that's easier. In fact, I could listen to the track. I'm not going to listen to it now because I don't want to copyright strike. But if I hear a squeak, that's what he did. But that would be almost something like John Lennon would do. A classical guitarist might go like that. You know, would actually finger it. And that's what Joe is. Yeah, I think this is bar 15 right here. And then you're going to stay on that chord, okay? So that you know, kind of it's like a D7 without the F sharp, right? Or a D minor 7, like a minor 2nd, but there's no 3rd harmony, but it's open, 2nd, 1st, open. Okay, so you can see that the last bar there, up, back down, that far, and then go. And at this point, when you hit this note, you can take your hand off. You don't need your. We're not doing anything like that. We just want those 2 notes, and then it's going to go to A minor. Okay. I wish I had that next bar there, but I don't. So, but if you hear, it's probably going to A. All right, just so you know. All right. Can't get that. I can't get that Rescato down. Alex is ticking me off. Hey, Max, what's going on? I can get that one down. And that is a triplet Rescato, what I'm doing there. For some reason, that's easy for me. I don't know. But this one, and this one's not bad. This one's weird. Thumb up, pinky, first finger. That one's easier for me. It's weird that I just have a physiological, yeah. So, no, it's flamingo. It's flamenco. I know, I called it flamingo for years as a kid. You play flamenco guitar, and then I saw this guitar that was shaped like a flamingo. Somebody can post it on the Discord. By the way, the Discord link is up there. Join the Discord group. You'll have all these crazy people there with you, so you guys can goof off. And I just posted the PDF for the entirety of this song that I did last night, late into the night, keeping me from going to bed. No, it wasn't that late. I think once Beth went to bed, I started working on it. So, because she gets up super early for school. So I hang out with her when she gets home from school, and then I get back to work when she goes to bed. So it's kind of like, one of those things. In fact, she works late today, so I will get a lot of work. Well, I'm going to work on my stupid taxes. I think I really should put off everything unless I get something. Oh, please, Lord, send me something to work on. But right now, I don't have anything I have to do except get Joe to sign off on that video. I know he thinks he looks old in it, but my friend Joe DeBlasi, I will post my first. So it's my first interview video, and I'll post it as soon as he approves it. I'll post it, and I'm gonna hashtag the crud out of it. And like I said, somebody was here. Who was it that was on a? I think it was Joseph. Is on a forum for Pink Floyd, and so. Joe talks about the making of this particular song. We didn't go too detail, but I already texted him and said, hey, let's do this again, or I wouldn't mind doing like a panel of some kind, telling stories kind of thing. He's teaching right now, so. Get that golpe at the same time as a strike. It's like a snare hit, and you strum at the string. So I'm doing. So I'm strumming the strings with my first finger, but I'm taking my third finger and hitting the top of the guitar. And just so you know, there's actually a pick guard here. You can't see, but there's a plastic pick guard here and here, and that's why the guitar is not dinged up. It's cool, isn't it? You can't see that. I mean, I'm trying to get. You can see the dust, but you cannot see that pick guard. It's brilliant. So I mean. My other guitar got dinged up because I was doing that to it, and so this one, you got to be able to do what they call golpes, Golpe, golpes. You got to be able to do them in multiple ways, like hitting a bass note, and hitting strums. So there's thumb strums. There's a million ways. There's so many things going on the flamenco guitars. If I had another life to live, I would really almost want to move to Andalusia in Spain and just study flamenco guitar. That would be, I don't know that if I had another life to live and I had the same personality, I talk about this with Joe. If I had the same personality, I don't know that I would, because I think to be a really good flamenco guitar player, I think in some ways you almost have to be kind of a peacock personality, kind of a flamboyant person, you know? And I don't mean that in any other way than just super confident. So not a flamingo. You have to be a peacock to play flamenco. You know, a flamingo just stands there on one leg. That wouldn't fly. So okay, enough of my insecurities. What are your insecurities? Okay, so again, this is like, of the first half, this is the hardest section to get down, but I think you'll be able to get it. Okay. That's 8 beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Don't count and just do it at the same time. And you can just do that bar once and then give yourself a second. Okay, if you want, you can end with that open D string. Okay, if you want to add a 9th note to that little snippet, as Holly likes to hear me say. I don't know why, but she likes it. Okay, that'll send you on your way to the next bar if you want to do that. That's always a good idea too. Just like you could do this if you wanted to practice that the bar before. Okay. Right? So, okay, and then the last bar is just that, okay? So 6 of those notes are just playing this open 2, 1, 0, back down with the thumb, first, second, third, second, first, and then we're just gonna go, okay? Do that with me. You don't need to leave these fingers on there to do that. As soon as you get to that moment of the song, you just take, your only requirement is that you play those 3 notes, okay? So snip it. It's very Monty Python, right? Snip it. So, I was right. Why did I think I screwed up? Okay. It's very delayed. It's like a delayed gratification kind of thing. So I'm going to play from the beginning of that phrase. How I think Joe played it. Right? It almost feels like it should go. Right? That's what I want to do. I'm thinking. But it doesn't do that. It goes. It's really, really cool. Okay? And the thing is, here's the thing. Joe wrote that. He talks about this. We talk about this. He wrote this. And so if I make any money from this, I'm splitting it with him from this video. I'm not sending it to, well, Gilmore maybe, but definitely not to Roger Waters. And you'll have to watch the video to hear the story. But Joe's such a nice guy. I think you'll like him a lot as a person. I think you'll like him a lot. And he just turned 70, and he's still working. Loves it. He loves what he does. You know, so he's a great guitar player. He's a phenomenal reader. I mean, his reading chops. And you know, and he talks about Tommy Tedesco, how good Tommy was. Like, he tells a story about that, and it's like, again, I don't want to give away the whole video. I'm hoping to post it this week. As soon as I send it to him today, hopefully he'll sign off on it, and then I can post it, because I'm sure it's fine at this point. But if I have to cut something out, then that'll take. If he needs me to cut something else out, if he's a little concerned about anything, then I will have to re-edit the video, and then I have to re-render it, and then I have to re-upload it, because right now it's uploaded, ready to go. So, all right, it's just set to private. or not public. Okay, so let's get the next phrase. We're almost done, really, because I'm not gonna, I don't know why I'm keeping these here. Really don't need to be here. The next phrase, is it this? Yeah, okay. So I'm not gonna teach the second half, but I can play it for you so you can see it, and we can have it on file here so you guys can go back and watch it. I will do that. That's a great idea. I can play the whole song down so that you can kind of bookmark that moment. So you know how to do that with to save us, to bookmark a spot, right? So remember, it went, and again, however you want to play this. And it may work best, oh, there are a lot of people over 70 or 65 here, Joseph. So it may, Sam, it may work good to kind of keep your fingers assigned to the top 3 strings for this particular pattern. Because otherwise, because then you never really have to move here, okay? You just have to get good at hitting multiple strings with your thumb. Not at the same time, fortunately. But you know what? I'm going to get rid of these. These are just annoying. Give me 1 second. I'm going to remove. It's kind of tedious. I can't just hit delete. I have to actually go click on it, slide up to remove. Are you sure? Yes. Which one is this? No, I don't want to do that one. That's the new one. Remove. Yes. And then this one. Yep. Remove. Yes. All right. And I can kind of put this one up here. Not that that makes it any easier to see. Stupid cursor. Okay. So if you've got the PDF is at, I put it in Tom's PDFs and lesson, whatever, lesson PDFs page on the Discord. So the Discord link is right here. So go there, click on that, join the Discord group, and you can get all of my PDFs. Everything's free. Don't worry about it. Hey, Lena. Ronald, you're in that club. So I'm just going to play this down. This is what I transcribed, and I haven't really worked this out, so there may be a hesitation here or two. I'm going to try to practice some of the stuff that Joe and I talked about with reading. I'm actually going to be reading not the tab. I don't think I'll probably read the music, but here's, oh shoot, now see, I want to be able to see it, and I want you to be able to see my hands at the same time. So give me a second here. Let's see, you can see my hands okay? And I think people play it like that, but I'm pretty sure it was something like this. Let's see. Yeah, so you got, and this is bar 27. You have 3 open strings in a row there, so you can totally get your hand out of position. You don't need to leave your hand in first position. See, I think it's what it is. And then it goes back to this. So it kind of restates the very first phrase. And then it just does. And probably the hardest chord by far is this one. Okay. And it's in there in tab. So you can do it. It's basically an A minor. It's like this chord, but only he wanted the A note on top. Like that. Okay. And it retards at the end there. So it's like. Okay. Oh, you still... Now, Holly, is it because you hurt your hand, or is it just you've always had trouble getting that big stretch? And I saw some... Let's see. That was hard to hear. I wasn't really sure if I got that right, but I think it's right. I looked at some other tabs like Ultimate Guitar, and I don't think they were right. Like, for one thing, on this, does. I thought it went down to C, but I don't hear him pulling off to the C. I hear the open G string. Holly, if you want, remember this is a good tip for anyone who's struggling with finger stretching, everything like that. You can practice this with a capo, like say the 5th fret. Right? And if you can get, because the frets are smaller, if you can play it there, then the next day, next week or whatever, move it to. Don't do a great jump. Don't go down 2 frets. Just go 1 fret down. Okay. And then you go down a fret and do it again. Okay. Now, because it was the injury. Yeah, both injury made it worse. Dang it. And remember this, we can do this right now together, okay? This is the 1 4 3 4 2 4 3 4 exercise, all right? So what I'm weird. Okay, you might have gotten some buffering. I got a notice from OBS for some reason, but now we're back up to 2,800, 2,500 kilobytes per second. Yeah. Because it doesn't really matter. If you're just working out a piece, it doesn't matter if you're in the correct key or not. If you're playing in a band that's doing it's funny because my friend Stevie D would be a fun interview. He's such a nice guy. Stevie DeStanislaw is a drummer friend, and he tours, I think he's in David Gilmour's band. He tours and playing he plays all the Pink Floyd songs, with David Gilmour. It's pretty cool. Yeah, if you're not, as long as you're not playing in a cover band where you're playing the song exactly or whatever, what difference does it make what key you played in? You want to get the song down. And it's still a pretty song no matter where. The only problem is that later in the song where it goes up high, if you keep it at the 5th fret, you're going to be like doing some crazy stuff. You don't want to be playing up here. So at some point you're probably going to, but the idea is to kind of get yourself there. Okay, but let's do this. So it's 1 4 3 4 2 4 3 4. What does that mean? Okay, it means I'm playing the first finger. And don't worry about the right hand. If you want to just use one finger, if you want to use a pick, all downstrokes, this is 100% for the left hand. Okay? Excuse me. All right, I haven't eaten yet today, so my stomach's going, feed me. Okay, so first finger and then pinky. And then third finger, pinky, second finger, pinky, third finger, pinky. Now, if that's too far to reach, like you're having troubles, we can start up here. So I'm at the 9th fret. That's 9th fret for me, okay? My pinky that's the 12th fret. On a classical guitar, 12th fret's always where the body joins the guitar, okay? And I don't like cut-out classical guitars. I'll never own a cut-out classical. I don't even like cut-out acoustics. And the reason is I just feel like it takes away some of the resonance of the body. Just that much, and it's rare to find a cutaway acoustic that has the same resonance and tone of its non-cutaway sister, okay? So weird. Thanks, Larry. So we go 1 4 3 4 2 4 3 4. Now at first you might be this. You might do. I can't even do it anymore. But your pinky might tuck away when you're not using it. But the whole point of this exercise is to start to send, electronic messages to your left hand and particularly to your pinky that you are needed and you are loved. Oh, thank you, Lena. That you are needed and you are loved. Okay, so that's and you are needed and you are loved. By the way, look, now I'm Bob. What's his name? The painting guy. Bob Ross. Hi, I'm Bob Ross. Okay, so you are needed and loved, and your pinky is needed and loved. So this exercise will tell your pinky, it'll send these electronic messages to your hand that your pinky is needed and loved, and will eventually start to stay out. That's exactly, this one exercise is the one that actually got me to keep my pinky more available. Which, if it's more available, it doesn't have to go from here back here all the way to here. It'll save you time, okay? Oh yeah, you do it on the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely harder on the bottom strings. But I'll tell you a trick to that, Bruce. When you're doing the bottom strings, I would go ahead and use a classical technique for sitting. So instead of putting the guitar like this, I would go ahead and prop up the left leg, get one of these. Okay, this has actually been a great guitar foot stand. I've really enjoyed this. In fact, I'll send you a link right now, an Amazon link. If you don't already have one of these, you know, it's like, I don't know, 10, 15 bucks, and I get like 5% of the sale, right? Am I allowed to say that? Let me find it. Hold on. I think did I put it in the, yeah, let's see, let me just see if this link is anything still, if it's still that. And I'll tell you how much it is. Maybe it's more than I think it is. With inflation and everything. No, it's $12.95. So not bad. Down 35%. So it's actually on sale right now, which is pretty dope. So if you don't have a footrest, it's super handy. You can use it. You don't have to use it for classical. I mean, I use it right here for you guys. I'm using it under my right foot, just for you guys, so that my guitar's up here and not down here. You know, it's like you wouldn't see anything if I was playing like that. Plus, I have my chair really high, and the reason I do that is so that I'm not, because I pinched a nerve in my neck from years and years and years of playing guitar and looking up at my monitor, and so I had to lower everything. My table is really low. My desk is really low. My chair is high. I no longer bash my knee on my table. I traded pinched nerve in my neck for knee damage for about a year. I no longer have that problem, but it actually there were two things that really helped. That, you know, changing the ergonomics of my workstation, and then getting computer glasses, which I'm not wearing right now because these work fine now. The computer glasses are now too weak. My eyes are getting worse. So I will see. Keep your notifications on, because I'll probably check in on Friday at 9. I'll have to send a reminder. Bruce, maybe help me remember, because you're up 3 hours before I am. So, but we will celebrate. Really, celebrate is not exactly the word I want to use, but 2 years of COVID lessons. Okay. The live stream thing I started at COVID, which was daily initially. I did it for 60 days in a row. And then I was starting to get busy, and it was like, oh wait, okay, good. COVID's not going to be the end of my career. It actually got, the 20 and 21 were actually two of the busiest years I've ever had. So that's good. Oh, good. You bought one of those before through my link. Yeah. So Bruce, try, if you have one, you know. And I have mine set pretty high because, again, my chair is pretty high. But it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 different positions. So it's great. And so if you put it there, I think it's easier to do if you're playing with a classical, because this is ergonomically much better for your hand. You know, it's not a bad way to practice my Picaro either, is it? Picaro just sounds like an Italian dish, like not a girl, you know. I mean, an Italian food dish. Get your head out of the gutter, Holly. Holly's telling nobody to take care. But really, 100% for me, the key is. And we talked about this, remember? We talked about continence. And I was talking to Joe about this. Because Joe was showing me these 10-year-old, and it's not in the video, but he was showing me these like 10, 11, 12-year-old gypsy jazz players that are like mind-blowingly fast. And to a kid, all three of them were like playing, you know, they're doing the gypsy jazz, you know, whatever, you know, the gypsy. They're like, they look completely bored, disinterested. Whatever. That's what they look. And I swear that I really think I don't know if any of you heard the study, but if you smile, even if you're not happy, you start to get happy. Isn't that fascinating? Because what it does is it's almost like you're fooling yourself, or it releases endorphins that you know, when you smile, hey, what's going on? All of a sudden you feel happier. And I think the same thing's true for just having that disaffected face. It gets rid of some of the tension, because the key to playing fast, and I've noticed it when I'm is to relax. I notice it when I'm playing electric guitar. When I can rip really fast, I'm just super relaxed. But if I get tense and start going, oh, am I going to make this? Am I going to get to this note? That's when I can't. I mess up. I slow down or whatever. So yeah, they're concentrating. But the thing is, when I'm concentrating, I'm like, no, it's not that look. It's not that intense furrowed brow and tense jaw. You know, it's not that kind of concert. When I'm concentrating on music, sometimes I find myself clenching my teeth. These kids, especially when I'm reading, when I'm sight reading something, I catch myself clenching my teeth, which is bad. But something my dad did, I got it from my dad. But theirs was like a disaffected, like, I don't care, whatever. Yeah, I'm bored. I could take a nap right now, but I don't like naps because I'm a kid. You know, I'm like, are you kidding me? Look at those kids. Look how fast they are. And I see this all the time, but even with like professional, like guys that are really fast, they're just like looking around like, yeah, oh yeah, look at that. Hey, how's it going? You know, playing like some of the rippingest, shreddingest stuff you've ever seen. I'm like, okay, but if they're really getting into it and doing well, you know, a lot of times those guys, there's a ceiling to their speed. It's really fascinating to me. Jimmy Rosenberg. Yes. That name sounds right. Oh, Jimmy Rosenberg, the gypsy jazz guy. Yeah. Right? He's a gypsy jazz guy. Yeah. They're just like, and there's 3 styles of music. And it's sad. 2 of them I just love to death. The third one I don't hate. I don't feel anything for it. But gypsy jazz and flamenco, both of those. But the third one is rockabilly guitar. Okay? So when I see shredders playing really fast, when I see those guys doing the heavy metal stuff, the speed metal, the death metal, all that stuff playing fast, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with their right hand more than their left hand. But their left hand's impressive too. I'm impressed. But I also know that they've got their guitar set up like really low action. They're using what's called, you know, every economic movement thing they could possibly use, right? They're doing like little circular picking, or they're barely moving their right hand, or it's like, you know, this thing. And their left hand is, you know, the strings are so low, they're barely pushing down. You know, they barely have to push down at all, and their hands are just like, you know, it's just like some of those guys you can see, you know, like the fastest guys in the world or whatever, that, you know, they're like, it's like a cricket. They're playing so fast you can't even hear pitch, you know. The speed of the picking is actually creating its own pitch or something like that, and that you know, that's impressive. Don't get me wrong, but I can see getting to there, because that's using all of the tools of economy to create speed. Flamenco guitar players, gypsy jazz players, and rockabilly players all ignore that. And almost as if for show, they exaggerate their movements. And I've been, you know, watching videos on trying to get my Picaro faster, and they do say beat economy. But one of the things in classical guitar, there's basically 2 types of strokes. There's a rest stroke and there's a through stroke. And a rest stroke is when you land on the string behind it. And you learn, when you learn it, that it's slower, but it's louder. And maybe even has more tone. But through strokes are faster, so when you practice your Segovia scales, you're using your through strokes. You know, you're practicing with those. I'm not using rest strokes, I'm using a through stroke, because it's easy to recover from a through stroke. But a rest stroke is hard to, sounds like I'm saying it's easy to recover from a stroke. A rest stroke, may I never learn that. rest stroke, you're like slamming into the next string, and you're even moving the next string sometimes, you know. But flamenco players, they play with all rest strokes, and they're fast. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Gypsy jazz players, I see them so often with their hand clenched in a fist. They don't have anchor anywhere. I'm like, how? I have to either anchor my palm or anchor my finger to play, you know, play some stuff. But to just like, it's almost like you're picking blind out of the air, these notes, but they don't seem to be blind. So you know, that's an amazing thing. And in rockabilly, same thing. They can play so fast, and I think one of the keys to rockabilly is a lot of pull-offs, open strings. But they play so fast, but they play with a lot of flamboyance in their right hand, which is counterproductive. Okay, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take just to have for posterity's sake, I'm going to get rid of this one, delete. What am I seeing? Remove. That's what it is. Okay. And then I'm going to grab the first one. So that one is up here. And I'll leave this one up here so when we reference the songs, when I go back and go, oh, what did we do last week? Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to teach the rest of the song. Some of it mechanically might be a little difficult. And again, if we were sitting here together, we would be doing it. But I don't teach lessons that way anymore. Okay, wow, we're going. Okay, so everybody's signing off. I totally get that. Yeah, Django Reinhardt, 2 fingers. You know, it's like one of the fastest guitar players in the world. And in some ways, I mean, like I've said before, I have several Django books, but I have one where this guy was the original guitar player for Oingo Boingo, but he quit, I guess, before they got famous. It's like a bummer, right? It's like the Pete Best thing. Oh, he got kicked out. But the what was I going to say? I forget what I was saying. Sorry, I got sidetracked by Bada Bada Baba, which is so easy for me to get sidetracked by a squirrel. Not that you're a squirrel, but anything is a squirrel that sidetracks me. Okay, but everybody's logging off. Yeah, and this guitar is, like I said, it's technically a flamenco guitar, or a flamingo guitar. I was talking about the Django, the Gypsy, the book that I have. So this guy, it's kind of a thick book, but it's kind of an unfair. It's one of those kind of books that is like, okay, here's that book. Okay, now I'm going to redo the book this way. So what he did was he took all these, he transcribed a bunch of Django songs, right? And he had there's not tab, I don't think. I think it's just music. And it's, see if I can find it. If you're really interested, I might be able to find it on Amazon. Let me try. Oh no, okay, go there. And then he refingered it, the second half of the book, the exact same book is doubled, but he just fingered it with 2 fingers. And it's amazing how many of these licks are easier with 2 fingers, because that's what they were created on. Let me see, Django Reinhardt. Transcriptions. Yeah. Oh, this is it. Stan Aronoff. Yeah, this is it. Cool. So, I mean, you can check this out. I don't know if you're into Kindle. It says $30 for Kindle. Paperback is $40. It's a pretty thick book. How many pages does it say? 1 left in stock. Oh, you better get on it. Here's a link. So if you're really, really into Django, this is a pretty good book because it fingers a lot of his songs and solos with, excuse me, two fingers, both ways, 4 fingers and 2 fingers. So it gives you a really good overview of how he probably did it. And again, it's speculative, right? He doesn't know this is how he fingered it, but it's likely how he fingered it. So yeah, I mean, oh, Jessica says great. Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh, I didn't know that, Gary. That's interesting to know. Okay, I didn't realize. Okay, I'm going to listen to that now with those ears. No worries, Kathy. Thank you for joining in with us all time. I'm the best. Yeah, smile. It actually affects you emotionally. And you know what? Think about it. With people wearing masks, I actually worked really hard to smile as big as I could smile, because you can still see a smile on someone's face even if their mouth and nose are covered, okay? So you could see it in my eyes, you know, that I was smiling at somebody. That looked just evil. I looked like the Joker. But yeah, so, you know, I feel like having a mask on your face is not good. If you're smiling less, people have been less happy. And there's a lot of reasons to be less happy in the last 2 years, but not smiling or seeing other people's smiles, because oftentimes if someone smiles at me, I'm going to smile back. And if I'm in a bad mood, that might actually put me in a good mood. It's amazing how we are designed. We are designed to have that in there. Anyway, Kathy, good. Oh no, Kathy, yeah, good to see you. Catherine is, I don't know if Catherine's still there. Joseph, okay. So I'm going to sign off next week. So next Monday, we're going to do an electric song. I haven't picked one out. I have one that I was going to do a couple weeks ago and I didn't do it, but I don't know. I may pick a different one. You know, I like doing known ones that you can sit around the campfire and play and everybody can sing along with. That's fun. That's not this song. But this one's kind of fun. You can just kind of noodle with, and if you get it down, people are like, "I know that. What's that from?" So, the today's song. Which song is that? Oh, there's a cool intro to add to the beginning of today's song. Try alternating one A notes 1 octave apart. Oh, and there may be something like that going into this. I heard a little guitar going into it, but it wasn't loud enough for me to pick out exactly what he was doing. And when Joe played it for me, he started here. And I didn't have him play it in the video. And we're not jamming in the video. I know that's probably going to be one of the things people want, is like, they're going to say, why didn't you, I wanted to hear you jam together, you know, and that I don't like that in the video. In Rick Beato's interview with Al Di Meola, I don't care to hear Al Di Meola play. I can hear Al Di Meola play anytime I want, but I want, or see him play even. There's videos for that. I want to hear him interviewed. I want to hear all the stories. So I would skip past all that. I could care less to hear somebody jam, or, you know, that's to me not as interesting as hearing about the music. So, yeah, I said the same thing, Ronald. I did that same thing. It's funny, like strange minds think alike. This is preposterous. I mean, like I said, we don't have a mask mandate in LA County, LA City anymore. And yet it's still, I was at Target yesterday, 80% of the people were wearing masks. And they were kind of looking at me like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, there were times in the last 2 years I went into Target and I didn't wear a mask anyway. I just said, kick me out. I don't care. I'm like, I'm done with this. It was like, well, I was never, I'm bored with it anyway. So, I mean, I wasn't, if I was singing in a choir, that's where, you know, those old people at that Lutheran church, they all got COVID and died because they did a 3-hour rehearsal, and one of them had COVID, and they all just singing together, standing in a circle, whatever, you know. That's, you know, that was how you got it in conversations. If I had it, I got it, because I think I had it at one point. I lost my sense of taste, whatever. I got it from a conversation I had with somebody who got it, you know, but I didn't really have any symptoms. And I got tested a few times, and it was always negative. Always negative. And I even had the antibody test, and it said negative, so I don't know. Let's see. Outside Woman Blues. So electric guitar song, yeah, that's what I'm going to do next. It may be a riffy song. I'm confident in some of you that even if you're not familiar with it, even someone like Lena, you know, we could do something like Black Dog or something like that, some Zeppelin. Oh, we already did a Zeppelin song, but I don't mind doing more Zeppelin tunes. There's no better riff band in history than Zeppelin. I would love to do, Kashmir would be a fun one. And it's actually not that hard if you're in Dadgad. Kashmir is such a great song. So I'm tempted to pull that out. We might all have to get our acoustic guitars out and, because I tuning an electric guitar with a whammy bar and stuff for Kashmir might be a little bit of a pain, but anyway, so that's where I'm at here. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this shaving thing. I feel like Dennis got the bum rap in there because people were like, I don't care about my teeth. Although I do think breath mint sales probably went way up, but lipstick sales went way down, right? So, and Your Bird Can Sing. That's a great song. That's a two guitar thing though. Black Dog. Kashmir. I just think Kashmir is such a freaking great song. So we might have to do a Dadgad tune. It's actually pretty easy to play if you're in Dadgad. It's impossible to play otherwise. And I think he plays it and it might get loud. You can actually see, I mean, when I watched him play, it was like, yeah, and people tend to play it wrong. One of the things people do, and I can play the little snippet of it that I'm thinking of without having to change, but it's that's what he goes up to the D and then he starts over. Zeppelin was always like, it always felt like some of their songs were off a beat, like Black Dog does that too. No Quarters. They drop a beat there. Freaking amazing. That you got a good drummer, and they had the best drummer. That would be that's going to be pretty. Wind Cries Mary. God, yeah, anything that. But learning any Jimi Hendrix songs are really, really hard because it's not just a riff. Like I would say, Page has a lot of personality he's playing, but I don't think there's other like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimi Hendrix are probably two of the guitar players that have so much personality in their playing. It's almost impossible to play like them. And I've heard people imitate them and sound just like them. I'm not saying it can't be done, but boy, really hard to do in this context. So I probably won't do either of those guitar players just because I can't do them justice personally, and also because it's really hard to ever get those to sound right. Yeah, that's Kashmir, basically. What did I say? I said Kashmir, right? Yeah. Going to California with alternate. Is it alternate tuning too? I guess it is. Yeah. What's the over the hills? What's the one? See, we could spend the whole 2-hour lesson live streaming just that lick there. That's why I probably wouldn't teach that song, because it's one of those songs that's like not. It's like Stairway to Heaven. It would just take too many lessons. I want to be able to show you the bulk, if not all of the song in one sit down here. In a very, very limited sit down when I can't actually go like grab your finger and go, no, it's there. Break your knuckle and twisting your hand around. I had a student that was like, every time I touch him, was like, ow, I'm just trying to move your finger. It's okay. And like, ow. Like, oh my gosh. It must have had an older brother or sister. Everyone's a snowflake. Everybody's a snowflake about something, I think. Everybody gets their genes in a bunch about something, probably. But go into California. Dadgad. Oh, Dadgad also. Okay. Yeah. Kashmir's definitely Dadgad. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And no two. That's right. Everybody's a snowflake. No two are the same. Another testimony to God's creativity. Am I right? That's insane. Okay. So I will, yeah. So we'll talk about. But cashmere is that's electric, right? So it might be if I teach cashmere, it might happen on an electric week. However, I might teach it on an acoustic guitar. I mean, yeah, I probably teach it on acoustic guitar, but which totally you can play on acoustic guitar. It might be acoustic. I don't know. It's both. Take a drink, everybody. Yeah, change. Okay, all right. Sorry, I'm taking forever to sign off here. Oh, we're zooming here. All of a sudden now we have 30 people watching. Are you kidding me? So today's lesson was "Is Anybody Out There" by Pink Floyd. It was played by my friend Joe DeBlasi, who I interviewed on Wednesday last week. So I've already edited the video. I've uploaded. It's over an hour long. I've already edited it. I've uploaded it. I'm going to send it to him here as soon as we're done. I'm going to send him a link so he can watch it and say, "Cool, no, don't worry, Tom, post it." I'm hoping he has no problem with it. I know he's going to think he looks old, but I'm used to seeing myself on YouTube here in the live stream and also just editing my videos. So he's not used to seeing himself like that. So I sent him a screenshot and he was like, "Oh, I look so old." And I'm like, "No, dude, you're fine." Okay, bye, Kathy. You're already gone. Yeah. So thanks everybody. Oh, I changed the guitar earlier. What did I do? Which guitar did I pick? Oh, I picked up the electric. You're right. And then back again. Okay. Coldplay did all tunings. In fact, yeah, I did one of my biggest videos is the Coldplay tuning, and people never hesitate. I mean, it's like, read the comments, man. I've had probably 1,000 comments on that. That's not the tuning they used on Yellow. I didn't say that. I said it's my Coldplay tuning, where I just tune the top string down a half step and I get the Yellow sound. Technically, it is a different tuning, and I understand. But read the comments. So, I have to Zoom at some point. Maybe we'll do that. We did that recently, but Friday will not be a Zoom. It will be I'll just go ahead and go live on it, and I'll take some questions, and then I may try to do some kind of recap or something. So I'll talk to you anyway. I'll talk to you all later. See you on Friday, hopefully, and next Monday. And Bruce, help me remember next Friday, okay? If you don't mind, send me a text. I'll make a note, and then we can have some fun, okay? Talk to you later. Thanks, Joseph, and thanks for the coin, everybody. I really appreciate that. It comes in handy. It helps me keep doing this, and compensates me a little bit for my time doing this, and also the prep time, because I probably spent 2 or 3 hours doing the chart for this, which I just put there in the Discord, so you can see the entirety of that tune. My best effort to tab that song out. Okay, all right. National Pi Day, 312. Oh, 314. Yeah, you're right. 314. 31419 already happened a couple of years ago, right? So we're past 314. We'll never hit 314 and 9 again. So, well, not for 100 years.